Hi guys, and welcome to another video by Travel Vegan and Frodo. Thank you so much for being here again. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Hopefully I'm able to give you something interesting, something fun every day, and you're learning something new or getting inspired in one way or another from watching the videos that I get to share with you. Today's video is about how can I afford to travel so much? That is a question that I get asked a lot in my comments or in like some mail or through messenger, and I wanted to address that. Obviously any kind of traveling, right, it costs some money. So when you do that, you want to maximize your resources that are available to do, whether it's the monetary resources, whether it's the time that you have available to yourself, right? First of all, I have a full-time job. I work as an engineer. I'm a chemical engineer, and that's what I do full-time. That's my job, Monday to Friday, and often on weekends. And through doing that, obviously, we all need jobs to live in this world. Most of us have them. And I do just the usual standard thing. When you work full-time, you get your annual leave to go like once a year kind of thing, or you have your amount of weeks in a year that you can take off from work. And I do that, and I take it for my little adventures. I choose to do adventures during that annual leave. And I also save, right? Like, that's kind of the pretty standard thing that most people probably would be able to tell you, that, you know, you earn money, you save, and then you get to spend it or spend part of it later on. 10% of my wage also goes into savings account, and then percentage of my wage also goes into share investments. So in my position in my job, we have such an option that is called salary sacrifice, which is basically, I've heard that many different companies do it in different ways, and whether you get a portion of your salary going in and investing into shares in your own company that you work for, which is what my company does, or you can take a section of your salary and it goes towards a company car, like some companies do that you then get to keep, or it goes towards, you know, some sort of gift card system thing, which then you can use when you go out shopping, but then also you get some sort of money bonus from that. I know that some companies in Australia, here in Australia, do that, but that is obviously pretty dependent on which company you work for and what are your policies and what is in your contract in reality. However, like, sometimes you can ask for that, and usually it is all discussed when you are drawing up the contract, when you're trying to get a job with specific ways. I wanted to go into and start talking about is cryptocurrencies. I know I don't talk about it too much on this channel. In fact, I've never spoken about it on my channel. So this is one of the first videos that I'm mentioning it in. And I actually have recently got a little crypto wallet. You can see I'm going to do like a separate video on this. This is Ledger Nano S. And some different cryptocurrencies that I am looking into, and I have been playing with, you know, your Ethereum, your Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and all those things. So let's do like a separate video talking about cryptocurrencies. That is something that I'm interested in now, and I have been interested in it for a while. I just have, well, the first few months of this year, I didn't actually like take the leap. I just kind of let it sit there and not do anything with it. So that is something I'm into now, and I've started doing recently as well. So obviously with cryptocurrencies, it's the hot market now. Everyone's in, everyone's out, and a lot of people are investing money into it. So depending on when you invest, when it's on the way down trend or on the way up, you can make money here and there, and of course you can use it as a long-term deposit kind of thing. But the thing with you need to remember with this type of investment is that it is a very volatile market, and it can be a bit unpredictable. However, from the research that I have done in the past, I feel like it is a very interesting way to approach things and savings, obviously, and I wouldn't like transfer all the money that I don't have for one of my savings in cryptocurrency and stuff, but I think it's pretty interesting, and it's just something new, something different. So look into that if you're into that kind of thing. So another thing I do, and I have been doing for a while, is investment into shares. So there are two different ways that you can make money of investing into shares. One is the value of the specific share of the specific company, depending on how well the company is doing and how high is the demand for that product or for their shares is, and other things that are happening on the market with other companies financially, right? The share price goes up and down and dependent on the company that you choose to look into. You know, it all varies. It all varies if you want to start looking into that a little bit more. And there are all kinds of different companies, and it is better to obviously spread your investment portfolio as well, not just go with just that one particular market and that's it, all or nothing kind of thing. But it depends what kind of investor you are and how much risk you're willing to take. So that is one way. And then there's also dividends. So obviously, dependent on how much particular company earns in a specific year or financial year, you as an investor in the company, when you own a specific number of shares, you get some dividends from that company as well. And then what you do with those dividends is up to you, obviously, whether you want to get them paid out into your bank account or you want to continue and reinvest it into that same company. So I have been doing that as well, and that is partially one of the things that has helped me in the past with my traveling and other life expenses. Another way is looking for extra new small ways to make extra money. So for example, recently I signed up for the services of Deliveroo, and there's also Frodo and Uber Eats that we have here, and you know, most people know what Uber is. Uber is the taxi service that is run by people, right, and everyone can become a rider and use their own personal vehicle. Well, Uber Eats or Frodo or Deliveroo are food delivery services that we have here in Australia right now. Anyone can sign up. You just gotta go through a bit of a little process thing. You might need to get an Australian business number, and the amount of money you can make from it really varies. So you just go with that and you see how much time you have available, and it is basically getting like a second job, but I find with those kinds of jobs it's a lot more flexible than, you know, getting a cafe job, for example, and having that shifted to a week. And it's a lot more flexible, and it's a lot more dependent on what is it that you have available on that specific day. So that is, I find, is another way of how I make a little bit extra cash on the side. And through my life I often had multiple jobs at the time, and kind of doing different things to further grow and develop my financial kind of situation, if you will. When I was younger, like in my late teens and, you know, early 20s and stuff, I was not maybe as specifically investment minded, if you will. I was interested in it, but I was much more interested in, you know, crazy hardcore saving, and then just go out and have a crazy epic amazing time overseas, having that experience. So it really depends where you're at and what you want to do with your money and future and everything else, right? But basically, to sum up, because this video has been going for a while now, how do I travel? I have a job, and I would say I earn money if I work full time, and I save portions of that money, and on specific portion of the money I go out and travel. I choose to invest my money as well in the share market and now in cryptocurrencies as well, and some depending on what kind of investments I make, how good is my research and all that comes with it, I make money and obviously pay taxes on it, and I'm able to utilize some of, well, ideally you should be reinvesting the profits that you gain from your investments, because it's, you know, over time it's how it all accumulates and then your money works for you. But occasionally I choose to, you know, use it. Yeah, well, it's honest. And then also another way is looking into extra other ways to utilize your skills that you may have available, whether it is delivering food on a bicycle, whether it is your photography skills, or, you know, if you're really, really good at editing, or like reading, what's the word for it, like being a novel editor, like, you know, when people, there are a lot of services like that on the internet where you can send your work and that you typed up, right? Like whether it's your reports or whatever, and you send them to the service, and then the person for a specific amount of money edits, reads through, makes sure that everything is, you know, in really good English, really good grammatically, perfect grammatic. You know what I mean? So there are lots of different ways to make money. Another way is obviously also decluttering your life, getting rid of things that you're no longer using, trying to sell them off on eBay or Gumtree here in Australia. And you know, I feel like when there is a will, there is a way, and if you really, really want something, there's going to be a way to get it, to make it happen. You just need to show initiative and show that you're interested in finding that way of how to make it happen. And then all of a sudden, all these things just start making it happen. And at the same time, there's like another side of it, maybe I should do like another video on that, is actually making the trips not that expensive. Not as expensive as they could have been, right? So not going to like flashy hotels, but staying in Airbnbs. Obviously, you know, smartly using or learning how to fix up your own bike, or, you know, things like that. So that can also add up, or having friends who are bike mechanics or videographers or anything like that you need, where the services that you understand that will be pretty expensive, right, to pay professional, but then if you have a friend who knows how to do it, maybe they're willing to teach you, or you can teach yourself. Like go on YouTube, type in whatever you want and just search it, how to use Photoshop, how to use Final Cut Pro, how to take good photos, how to do like this and that, and you know, 1,001 things that are available now, how to change your own chain on a bike, which is something I have recently done with some help on my bike. So there's a lot of different ways, and just go out, have fun, figure out what is it that you want to do, figure out how much you're willing to put into it, how badly you want a specific thing. And I wish you all the luck in the world and the endeavors that you choose to go with. This is basically how I can afford to travel so much and how I get to do all the things that I want to do, really. And it is always a lot of planning in a little way, but it's so much fun and totally worth it though. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was somewhat informative and interesting and you learned something new. And I will see you again soon. See another video, and remember to stop counting calories, start counting health, count your adventures, count your passions, and I get to see you again soon. Bye guys.